bit of sound advice on the show right now, and we are talking about a pet modelling agency today. Layla Flaherty runs Urban Paws UK, which provides pet models and actors for all sorts of purposes, or maybe that should be, excuse the pun here, porpoises, if you prefer. Layla joins me right now. Good afternoon to you, Layla.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm very well. Thanks very much for coming on. And I really hope my mum is listening to this, Layla, because she's got, I think, British Blue, they're called. You know those cats? And,
yes, I do indeed.
His name's Charlie. You probably deal with a few of them, actually. His name's Charlie, and he's got a right attitude on him. You know, he's got a real showbiz strop about him all the time. I mean, you know, if he could actually physically fold his arms and look at you in a certain way, that's exactly how he'd be every time you come into the house. So, Mum, I hope you and Charlie. I love him, by the way, but he's just got that like bit of a showbiz attitude about him. So, firstly, how did you get jobs for pets and make it your job, if you know what I mean?
I kind of fell into the role, if I be honest. I came from, nothing major, but I came from I had experience with modelling and small bit of TV experience. So my background was predominantly film, TV and modelling. I obviously wanted a career change. And I thought, you know what, I've always wanted to work with animals, but in a fun way. So I kind of put the two together. What do I know and what do I love? And I came up with the idea of a pet talent agency and just ran with it, really. So I did fall into it by accident.
How many different kinds of animals do you work with then?
So we work with all animals. So everything from your domestics, so your cats and your dogs, your rabbits, to farm animals, dangerous wild animals, exotic animals. It's right across the board. So everything. We can almost get our hands on any type of animal within reason, as long as it's not extinct.
Yes.
Or endangered.
Yeah. Dinosaurs out of the question. No, sorry.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to stick with CGI there. So
Exactly.
you know, obviously we know what makes for a model in terms of a human model. You know, obviously attractive people, and but what's lovely these days, of course, is models can be all shapes and sizes. But how does it work for an animal? What are the absolute must-haves, the credentials that you need to see in them?
Well, the credentials, most people think that, a pretty, really good standard, a breed standard is what makes a model. It's actually the complete opposite. What we look for is the talent, how well trained they are, how well socialized they are. Because don't forget, once that animal turns up on set, you could have anything from 20, 30 people, everyone running around, with cameramen, lighting, there's sound, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of distractions. Not every animal is cut out for that type of environment. So first and foremost is the obedience and how well socialized they are. Are they people friendly? Will they cope under pressure on set? It's completely different getting your dog to respond to the basics at home, sitting and staying. But when there's a lot of distractions going on, it's getting your pet to be able to respond under different circumstances. So that's really the first and foremost thing that we would look for is how well they can cope and if it's suitable for them or not. Then obviously we wowould look at, the physical attributes, how they look, that they're in good shape, their coat, they're well maintained, well looked after. So it's a little bit different to the human model industry, as in looks are the first thing. For us, it's more about talent.
Do you ever get calls for animals, maybe for a TV production or something like that, who look the opposite, maybe a bit shabby? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, we do, and we do get. Sorry to interrupt. We do get requests where the producers or directors might request, a really grumpy looking animal that looks really peed off.
That's what I like. That is what I like. Charlie, my mum's cat, if you're listening to this, that's the job for you, pal. That's the job for you. So, obviously, I don't expect you to reveal how much, but I'm assuming, because you're running a thriving business here as well, and you're getting a percentage of this. So, presumably, some of these animals are and their owners are really well paid.
Yes, it depends on how serious you take it. Some people are in it just for fun. It's a great way to spend time with their pets. while others it's a full-time job. If that is the case, I mean, it is a very lucrative industry. I mean, some of our pet talents could be on £1,000 a day.
Wow.
So you can do the maths if you're on a 5-day shoot. So that's it. It's a
My
good
goodness
paycheck.
me. That's better than the BBC. Jeez, honestly.
We do have some pets that are the main bread earners in the household, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Oh, my goodness me. We're getting into dangerous territory here. They're going to start bossing the owners around soon, aren't they?
Exactly.
Hey? It's going to be the owners that are going to be eating out of bowls. What's the most unusual job that you've ever got for a pet?
I did have another job, but most recently we had a booking for a snail and a worm, and I literally could not believe what I was reading. And that was for B&Q. And I think it was just the initial, who actually keeps a snail and a worm as a pet?
Did you go, no, tell me, be honest, I bet you went straight out into the garden looking for them, didn't you?
Of course I did. I thought we could easily get this. But we luckily found a brilliant guy who keeps very unusual pets. And his snail and his worm were the stars of the B&Q advert.
This is, I'm ever so hopeful. We had a couple of slugs in the kitchen last week, you know what I mean? Because it was a bit damp and everything, and we're in we're in quite a rural area. So this is brilliant. The next time I see the slugs in the kitchen, I'm not going to boot them out.
The daddy
anymore.
long legs.
The
daddy long legs.
I'm going to bring them along to you. So what do the owners like to work with? I mean, animals, bless them. I mean, you don't really get much bother out of them, really, do you? But do you get some, feisty owners sometimes?
We do. I mean, just like I suppose any job, we have a wonderful mix of owners, but it's an interesting mix because we have noticed we have a lot of couples who could never have kids, and therefore the dog then takes the center stage in the family household. Yeah. And just like you would with a child, you send them to dance school or different activities. So the modeling, the pet modeling is essentially that activity for the dog. We have, same-sex parents as well, and again, they get a dog as for the household, and then they pursue the pet modeling as well. We have what I call them, like the pushy dance mums, the dog dance mums, or the ones who tried to become actors or actresses themselves when they were young, but they never succeeded, and they're now reliving their youth through the family pet. So it's a complete varied mix of people and characters. But generally speaking, I mean, our clients are really easy to work with. They're lovely people. At the end of the day, we are working with animals, but it's just as important to work with the people, the owners, that we get on with them as well. Yeah, we have a good relationship. Do
you ever witness any rivalry between a couple of owners? One trying to trump the other?
All the time. Yeah. Or it could be that there might be a few retrievers in the run for a job and then one gets it. Everyone wants to know, why didn't their dog get it? Of course. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. Layla Flaherty is from the Pet Talent Agency, Urban Paws UK. If anybody wants to find out more about you, Layla, where can they find you online?
Yeah, certainly. We have a website, so it's www.urbanpawsuk.com, and we're on all social media platforms as well if you search for Urban Paws UK.
And have you got anything coming up real soon, on the telly or anything like that we can also look out for you on?
We do. We're currently working on Christmas adverts at the moment.
Brilliant.
So, more or less, most of the adverts you will see with a pet this Christmas will more than likely be coming from one of our pet talents. Yeah.
Well done, Layla. You've built a fantastic business there.
Oh, thank you.
And it's so fascinating listening to it all, because we all love our pets, don't we? And
we do.
Particularly talented ones and ones with real character. Layla, thanks very much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.